Stranger Things Season 5. Oh my god. Stranger Things Season 5 Volume 1 just dropped like a day ago or 2 days ago, whatever it was, but oh my god. Processing my brain has had to go through has been absolutely insane. Seeing episode 1 to 4, especially episode 4, all the theories that have been made over the past few years about how this will go down, in general, I feel like this is a fairly successful opening to the last season of Stranger Things. Now, Volume 1 does definitely not come without its problems. There is 100% some problems in here. I mean, there is some Disney Channel acting in terms of bullying, but hey, there is some underlying tones in here that are absolutely beautiful and really heartfelt. So without further ado, I'm going to give you my honest thoughts on Stranger Things Season 5 Volume 1 without any spoilers, ideally. Do not worry, there will be no spoilers in here. However, I would highly recommend just going out and checking Season 5 right now because you need to watch it because spoilers are just everywhere right now. But of course, to start off with, we have Episode 1, which is The Crawl. And I will admit, the main issue I've had with this season so far is the removal of the cliffhanger from Season 4. You know, like the big fires and stuff going down in Hawkins. I have to say, the fact that that's kind of been just shelved away kind of hit me a little bit. I thought the world would be a little bit more apocalyptic, but however, it's kind of just, covered up by the government as per usual. I feel like them going away from that whole ending of Season 4 has kind of just diminished the whole Season 4 finale, in my opinion. I just feel like the fact that they've kind of just ignored it is a bit strange, but hey, their opening is fairly interesting. I mean, introducing Holly Wheeler, of course, is always interesting in terms of her importance of the series so far, if you've seen the episodes. So it is really interesting to set the scene. I will say, though, the opening sequence of Season 5 being, back when Will was in the Upside Down is really, really cool. However, I gotta say, the callbacks to Season 1, Episode 1 in this first episode are insane. Like, the exact same shots, shot for shot. Even Mike banging on the door to go to the toilet. Like, even all those callbacks are really, really excellent to me. Really gives you that Stranger Things vibe. Even the fountain being the opening shot of the series. Like, in general, I just love how this season started off with this episode. However, there is some really interesting dynamics in this season so far, is that Dustin is very clearly being an Eddie variant. I feel like this season, Dustin's characteristics really matches Eddie. Of course, him being the most affected by Eddie's passing in Season 4, which is completely natural. I just think that in general, Dustin's character and also Steve's character have been altered just the tiniest bit. I mean, the altercations they both get into in the opening 4 episodes that happens is very interesting. Dustin's kind of sidelined for a lot of the first few episodes until maybe 3 or 4. And then in general, I just think there is some issues with the actual characteristics of the characters, to be honest, and the personalities of them. I mean, in terms of Dustin, he feels like a completely different character, which is again natural for what he's been through. But just in general, it feels a little bit different in terms of story. So I just hope that Steve and Dustin can go back to that relationship they were in. I mean, it's a natural progression of their characters, but just in general, I'd kind of prefer to have them, butt heads. I would, of course, like to see them kind of, reunite, which is obviously going to happen. I mean, we see it in the trailer with Dustin crying in Steve's arms. So obviously something goes down there when it comes to them. So obviously that's going to be the moment they make up. But it's kind of just weird seeing them in an altercation every now and again, which is just something I have to live with until the next episodes come out, unfortunately. But there is someone I really think is fairly iffy this season, and that's Millie Bobby Brown as Eleven. I don't know what it is. I think that some of her acting this season has kind of been meh. Like, I don't know if I'm the only one who's thinking this. I just feel like Millie Bobby Brown's acting, specifically in the opening few episodes, has been a bit iffy. I don't know. It just feels a bit off. Now, it definitely could be varying in opinions, of course, but I just think Millie Bobby Brown has been a bit iffy in terms of the acting style of this series so far. But in general, it's not a big issue. I've just noticed some little tweaks here and there, but again, nothing too crazy. Now, of course, the main topic of discussion is what happens in the first few episodes of who dies, who gets attacked, etc. Because, of course, leading up to the last season, everyone's like, okay, who's gonna die here? Because it feels like there will be a lot of death in this season, which of course there will be with the final season, because Vecna, oh my god, Vecna in Season 5 is a menace, let's just say that for one. But just in general, it's very interesting to see some of the theories actually about Season 5's progression and how it's going to happen in the future. Because just in general, there are some callbacks in Season 1 specifically that Season 5 is going to answer, which has been literally stated by the Duffer Brothers, that there is questions from Season 1 and theories from Season 1 that will get an answer. And I think the main scene that I'm talking about here is Eleven pointing at Will in that photo for the science fair, if I'm not mistaken, off the top of my head. But there is some photo from Season 1 that they show Eleven, and she specifically points out Will. Now, I'm just going to say this first and foremost. I definitely think Eleven is the person who opens the hut that Will is in, that gets him taken by the Demogorgon. And with how the first 4 episodes of Season 5 has gone, I think there's going to be a very strong case for Eleven being a somewhat villainous character without actually realizing it. Now, what I mean by that is she didn't mean to be a villain at that stage, but of course being around the other characters has turned her head into the right way. However, I think originally she would be by Vecna's side, because if she's the one who's opening that door, if that gets the answer, and that's what the answer is, I definitely feel that there is an original villainous character in Eleven. However, time will tell. I will say this, I really like Robin in this season, and I've heard a lot of people saying that they kind of don't really like Maya Hawke's acting in this season so far. How? I think there's obviously one specific piece of dialogue that she says in episode 4, if you know, you know, that genuinely nearly brought me to tears. I think Robin and Will's dynamic is the best part of this season so far, and that's what I love about Season 5 as well. There is so many characters who you wouldn't expect to be in close contact with, or even in the same scene with. Like, even Murray and Robin in the same scene is so weird to see, but they work. But especially Will and Robin. Like, that dynamic is so powerful in this season opener, and it is so interesting to see, in my opinion. But just in general, I love how Will interacts with Maya Hawke's character of Robin. I just love Maya Hawke's acting as well. Noah Schnapp has been very decent in this series as well, obviously acting wise. You know, just them bonding over that characteristic of themselves, specifically their sexuality, is such a beautiful tone of storytelling, in my opinion, that the Duffer Brothers has absolutely mastered. I love their connection within each other. Like, even the scene that I can't exactly, it's not a huge spoiler or anything, but in episode 4, when the tunnels, when they're just having a laugh and a joke about each other, and they're just, you know, bonding, and I just think that's such a beautiful scene. And of course the main scene in episode 4, if you know, you know, like that Robin dialogue is just so beautiful, and I love it. And if you don't think that's beautiful or good in the episode, I really don't know what to say to you. Like, Robin and Will's dynamic has easily been the best. In my opinion, it's kind of on the same wavelength as Steve and Dustin. Obviously, a lot of people will be like, what are you talking about? But if that was a relationship you'd see in like future seasons, I would say that they are pretty much identical in terms of how they bond with each other. And I just love that dynamic, and it's been my favorite part to see on screen is that dynamic. Now, another thing I have an issue with this season, and it's the same issue I had with Season 3, and I don't know if I'm the only person in this boat, but I cannot shake the fact that when the military get involved, it's just kind of paced wise, it's just really paced weirdly, and it kind of takes me out of the experience a little bit. I don't know if I'm the only person who thinks that, but just in general, when the military and, you know, Hawkins Lab and stuff comes up on screen, and it's specifically those military characters, I just don't really care for them. Like, I don't care about what they're looking for. It's fairly obvious, and I just feel like their dynamic, this doesn't really add a lot to the story, especially with the characters that you see in the opening 4 episodes and what happens in those opening 4 episodes to them. It just makes you feel like, okay, so what was the point of all that dialogue within them then? Especially when 2 characters end up finding one that's held hostage and trying to get information off that character. They're kind of giving this, you know, military guy a lot of dialogue, but it kind of just results in nothing to me, and I just don't see the point in it a lot at all. But just in general, I feel like that's a very weak point of the season so far, is that whole military aspect. However, the reveals from the military aspect are very cool, of course, but in general, it feels like we had to go through a lot of boring and unengaging dialogue and scenes to get to a really cool reveal. But ultimately, season 5 is one of those seasons where I feel like it's going to be one of the top tier ones, if not the best. Now, season 1's going to be very hard to beat, obviously with nostalgia reasons as well, and season 1's obviously going to be a lot of people's top 1 spot. But just in general, I feel like season 5 has so much potential. Like, Will in this season, obviously, just in general, such a good character development. Vecna in this season so far, oh my god, I love what they're doing with his character, especially with the character of Mr. Watson. Of course, no spoilers, I can't go into that, but that whole dynamic is so interesting to me, especially Holly Wheeler's kind of interactions with certain characters as well. If you've seen the show, you know exactly what I mean. In that other realm, I think the reveal in there is so cool, very interesting, kind of confusing in terms of how that whole thing occurs in terms of memories, but it is still very interesting. But ultimately, I love Vecna. I think Vecna is such a menacing villain, and I honestly cannot think of how they're going to beat him. Like, I genuinely don't know. I mean, some of the obvious answers is some weaponry that happens and is obviously in the hands of the military that is in season 5. I mean, some of that might work on him, but then again, I don't exactly know. I really don't know how they're going to beat this guy. He's so powerful. But just in general, there is a lot of bite to this show, and I don't know what it is, but every time I've watched an episode of season 5 so far, on first watch specifically, you really don't know who's gonna live and die. Like, episode 4 has you on the edge of your seat the entire way through, and just in general, I feel like that's what makes the show so engaging. It's because it's the last season, and in general, you have a feeling that someone's gonna die, especially because all the behind the scenes footage. I mean, even that Dustin thing of, like, even if that is confirmed to be real or not, I cannot remember if that was even proven wrong or right, but even like with Dustin, like Steve run, like those behind the scenes images, then obviously everyone, the Duffer Brothers, saying, oh, this is a menacing season. Like, it has you on the edge of your seat of who's going to live and who's going to die, and I love that, because every episode in here, it feels like someone's that close to getting absolutely obliterated by something. And even in episode 1, it doesn't hold back. Episode 2 doesn't hold back. Like, just in general, there's so much bite to this show, and I love that. I hope the season volume 2 has that aspect as well, because having you on the edge of your seat like that really keeps you engaged. And another thing, Derek Turnbow, oh my god, I love this kid and hate him all at once. There's a specific scene in episode 3 to where it's I'm gonna say without spoilers, it's to do with a pie, right? And this kid just lets out a laugh, and it's the most contagious laugh I've ever seen. It's just so funny to hear him like interact with people as well. Just Derek Turnbow, I can just tell he's going to be the character that comes in and then gets wiped out. Like, I just know it. It's the Bob character. It's the Eddie character of this season. I can just feel it. And just in general, like, I think everyone has that feeling now to where if you like a new character, you just know they're going to die, and I feel like that's going to be the same with Derek Turnbow. But just in general, I love his acting. I love the kid's acting, because I'll be real, if you were on TikTok for maybe a week leading up to the season 5's release, everything was just like, who is this kid? Who is him? Who is this guy? And just in general, I love him. I think he's such a funny character. Like, even the screenshots I've seen of him just acting away, it looks awesome. He's having the role of his life. He's having so much fun, you can tell in the role. And even the kid, the actor on the red carpet and stuff, he looks like he's having the time of his life. So I can only look and dream about what that kid's going through. He's having the time of his life, and I gotta say, he's smashing it in that role. I love him. I love his character. It's so entertaining every time he's on screen. So just in general, season 5 is off to a very strong start. Of course, it has some issues with obviously not continuing from the cliffhanger of season 4. Some of the acting can be a bit iffy at times, but just in general, there is some problems, but I mean, it was never going to be a perfect show. I love it personally. I mean, a big thing is obviously Steve's character. I mean, the love triangle with Jonathan, Nancy, and Steve, again, being there is a bit strange to me, no pun intended. But just in general, the seasons started off strong and very vicious as well. I mean, Ted Walkham Down Wheeler has so much aura with his golf club, that's all I'm going to say. But just in general, I love how this season has kicked off. It has so much potential to be one of the best seasons of Stranger Things, if not the best. But in general, I just want to see how they continue that for the second volume of this season. It's going to be very intriguing to see how they go about it, who lives, who dies, what's going to be the stakes, because of course, with how episode 4 left off, there's going to be a lot of stakes for the next few episodes. I think it's 2 or 3 episodes dropping on Christmas and the finale on New Year's. So it's going to be interesting to see what the cliffhanger is going to be for that wait, because I feel like naturally there's going to be a cliffhanger for each, cut of the season. So if it's episode 7 that maybe it cuts off at, it would be interesting to see if that ends in a death, if that ends in someone just being chalked off the board completely. Is it going to be a main character, one of the main 4 possibly? We genuinely don't know. But ultimately, I'm so excited for Stranger Things Volume 2 when that drops in about a month's time. I don't know how I'm going to wait that long. Let me know what you thought of Stranger Things Volume 1, and overall, what are your thoughts and predictions for Season 5? I'm so intrigued to see everyone's opinions on that, because personally, I'm so excited. I love how the Duffer Brothers have led this season up so far. They are such a talented group of people and group of filmmakers. So without a doubt, I'm so excited. But yeah, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you had the most fantastic day. But of course, let me know your predictions in the comments below, and make sure to subscribe if you like anything to do with films, horror movies, whatever it might be. I'd really appreciate all the support on the channel recently. It's been absolutely insane. I love making videos like this. So I hope you all have enjoyed. As always, have the most amazing day. Stay safe and peace.